everyone. So today is the first day of the Reading Rush Challenge, which also is the first day for the StrangeAthon Challenge. And I had books picked out for the book junkie trials, so I'm going to try to plan and overlap all of the prompts so that I'm able to read a handful of books throughout this next week, but also be able to accomplish all three of the challenges that I want to do. It's already like 1:30 or 2, and I did start listening to the audiobook for the non-human main character challenge, which was prompt 5 for the Reading Rush. And a lot of people were doing Animal Farm. I'm like, that's a really quick audiobook. I know I can start everything off really good. My goal is to read one book a day. So I was like, well, if I listen to the audiobook for Animal Farm and I finish it by the time, I'm ready to lay down in bed for the night, then I can at least get a few chapters in of a different book so that, I'm finishing a bunch of books early on in the week. And then I'm not so stressed out by the end of the week. And I do have a few audiobooks. So I'm going to go through everything that I have for my TBR because I didn't make a different TBR video. I'm going to include it in today because honestly, doing a audiobook for the majority of the day leaves me with not a lot of content for this video. So without further ado, let's go through all the prompts that I have for the 2 challenges for this week specifically. So the first one is a purple book for the Reading Rush. And I'm also going to use this book for the third one, which is Halloween is Every Day, a book that you're saving for October. And I have Nightshade and Damnations. This is by Gerald Kirsch, and I was reading it and it seemed very interesting. It looks like a bunch of short stories. Let me see how many there are. I think there's quite a bit of short stories in here, and he lived from 1911 to 1968, and he wrote gritty novels of London life. And so I was like, you know what? It's a bunch of short stories. Even if I read 1 or 2 every other night in bed, then maybe it'll also take away some other challenges. Wink, wink, the same spot challenge, which is where you read a book in the same spot. So I'm like, well, if I read like 1 or 2 stories every night before I go to bed, then I'll read it while I'm in bed. But I'm going to see how that works. The other book that I have for that challenge, for the second one, which is reading a book in the same spot, is Elevation by Stephen King. And the thing with these challenges is I picked a lot of books that overlap challenges. So honestly, the book that I'll probably read next might be this one because it is relatively short. It's by Stephen King, so I would have saved it for October. It has some purple on it. One of the challenges for the StrangeAthon is it's shiny, which is the last challenge. It covers a lot of prompts, is what I'm getting at. So if I read this book early on in the week, then later on, the book that I had originally planned for that challenge, if I can't get to it, that will be okay because I'll finish it. The number 3 challenge for the Reading Rush, which is a book you meant to read last year. And I'm going to pick another audiobook, which is The Sea of Monsters. And I picked this because I had wanted to read the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series for so long, and I never got around to it. I actually listened to the first one on audiobook too the other week, so I figured I'd do this. And then it also matches the Forgotten Forest for the book junkie trials, and it's also the one that I'm going to use for the 6th prompt for the StrangeAthon, which is a camping trip because of Camp Half-Blood in here, which I know is a stretch, but I don't think it's that far of a stretch. So it covers a bunch of prompts too. So I'm excited for that one. The next one that I got might be a little cheating, but that's okay because I think it still counts. And you're supposed to pick a book for the, I'm going out of order now, but for the 6th challenge for the Reading Rush, it's a book with 5 or more words. And so I picked The War of the Worlds. 4th prompt for the StrangeAthon. I'm sorry, all of these are out of order. I'll do better next time. But so for the 4th prompt for StrangeAthon, which is halfway there, which is a book that came out this year, I'm also going to use the first book I mentioned, which was Nightshade and Damnations, because it just got reprinted back in April. So I'm going to make it count. I'm not sure if it's supposed to count, but I'm going to let it count. The only book that I don't have anything for right now is the StrangeAthon prompts 2 and 5, which is Pride Parade, a book with a pride protagonist. But I have We Are Okay, and I have a couple other books that I could check out from the library that have that in it. So I might add another book to this. I'm not sure. And then the one with rain in it. Now, instead of finding a book that has rain in it, I'm just going to wait until one shows up in another book, because I don't know if there's rain in it and I don't know how long the rain's in there. The 4th prompt for the Reading Rush, I have a book that most people are reading, which is dun, 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 Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which was J.K. Rowling's first book, debut book. So I'm going to go ahead and reread this. I have been meaning to read Harry Potter and the entire series, and every time that I try to read it, for some reason, coincidentally, every time I get to the chapter in the 4th book where they're at the graveyard scene, and I just stop reading it and I put it down and I never pick it up. But I'm not going to start the 5th book until I finish the last few chapters of the 4th book. So I haven't actually read the last 3 books. So I'm going to try to reread it and break that cycle. And my friend lent me the first one and the second one, because I'm also using the second one for the 7th prompt, which is read the book and then the movie adaptation. And my husband and I are huge Harry Potter fans, so I think a movie night would be awesome for us. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as soon as I read these 2. So I'm probably going to read, I might start the Harry Potter books tomorrow. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to go through, because I do want to finish listening to the audiobook for Animal Farm, and then I can probably get through this tonight. So that'll be 2 books done for the first day, because I only have like 30 minutes of Animal Farm left. So why wouldn't I read Animal Farm real quick, and I can probably read this tonight. And then maybe after I finish reading this, I'll start the Harry Potter book. That's probably a better idea. These are all the prompts. And I'm sorry it took so long to on my Reading Rush profile anyways. If you want to look them up, I'll probably link everything down below here. But on another note, one of the challenges, I guess, today is to pick a book that you've read and open to a random page and go to the first character that you see and draw a thing for 30 seconds of them. So for this book, I'm going to use Stardust by Neil Gaiman, which is the Bookie Grail for the Book Junkie Trials. And I do have a few chapters left. However, I think I've read enough of it to be able to turn to a random page and draw the first character. So I'm probably going to go to Should We Run? Tristan removed his bowler hat and held it in front of him. And he, All right, so 30 seconds. I'm going to start right when it has that. And I will draw Tristan now. I'm so bad at drawing. And I'm drawing a bowler hat because I don't know what it is, based on the movie The Robinsons. I have 10 seconds left. He's supposed to be a short guy. Okay, so I only had 1 second left of my video and then someone called me on my phone. So I'm not going to redo it because I don't know how else I'm going to do it. So Tristan with a bowler hat, who is supposed to be a little man and pale. There's my Tristan. I spent like half the time on this bowler hat and he looks gosh awful. And I put him in some sort of robe. What is that? Was he wearing a robe in the book? I don't remember. So that is Tristan from Stardust, who does I don't know. All right, hey guys, so I'm going to do one last update because it is day 1 of 7, so I don't think I'm going to stay up until midnight, but I do plan on reading a little bit before I go to bed, but I don't want to edit a vlog at 12 o'clock at night. So I'm going to post it a little bit early. It's 8:30 or 9ish, so it is really early, but I want to be in bed by 9 or 10 because I got to be up early tomorrow and I don't want to be exhausted for the entire week. So for day 1, I read 224 pages-ish. So I think that was a good start for this week. I got done the reading rush, the same spot prompt. I actually did this one. I was going to do elevation, but I'm just going to tick that one off the list because it seems like it's going to be a little bit harder to do and I already did it. And then I did the non-human main character one. So 2 prompts are already done for the reading rush. And then in the StrangeAthon challenge, I did the summer crimin, which someone breaks the law. I'm going to do Animal Farm for that one because there's a lot of law breaking and bending and all sorts of crazy stuff going on in that book. So I'm just going to cover that one. And I don't think I picked this one for anything, but I'm going to do it for the British rain one because it does rain somewhere in this book. And I don't want to gamble and think that it rains in a different book. So I'm just going to do that one. So I got 2 of 7 challenges done for each of the reading challenges that I'm doing. I'm really glad I'm getting ahead right now because I am sure some of the other books are going to take more of my time. I'm sure the Harry Potter books are going to take me a whole day, if not more, to read. So I'm probably going to start reading one of those tonight. I'll start my morning vlog hopefully a little bit earlier today. I know I didn't really start vlogging until like 12. I only vlogged for like 8 hours. I didn't even vlog. I just told you my TBR for most of this video. But that's okay because it's only day 1. There are 6 more days and I am sure there's going to be more stuff to talk about. If you're wondering if this was any good, I did not read the actual novel for The War of the Worlds, but it was a graphic novel. It was definitely a quick read, very interesting. It's by Dark Horse, which I love because they also did Hellboy. So that's my favorite comic, basically, in character. I absolutely love Hellboy. And it definitely gave me a lot of H.P. Lovecraft vibes, which made me really happy. So I think it was good if you're into that sort of genre. I'm not really entirely sure what genre I'm into because I don't like Star Trek or Star Wars, but I love H.P. Lovecraft and apparently H.G. Wells too. So I've got some figuring out what I actually like in a book. So I'm going to wrap this up and I'll see you tomorrow.